So for the better practice, I want to load all possible library into here. Like firstly, I need the import pandas as pd, import numpy as np, import pyplot and the cbond, and one more library for the statistical point of view, like stat models. And if I'm talking about the stat model, so there are so many examples, but suddenly I use only the stat model. And the date time. So these are the necessary library, and I will also add one by one. Now, so firstly I want to load the data, the superstore market, basically the stat models. So the data I want to load here, like pd dot read, we know very well the superstore data should be there. Superstore dot xls. So now you can see the to put the xls, to check out the extension also the data xls. Now you can see the data loaded successfully, the super store data. So if I'm talking about into this data set, so we have the row id, order date, and the ship date. So the order date and the ship date, and the profit and the discount and the sales. So now the question is that firstly I want to check out the data type of all the column. So the data original dot d types. So d types is a normal function, or you can say that the keyword in Python to know the type of all the column. And we have also the info function like data original. Info also show the data type, but also show the column name, number of values. So it is just the advance. So firstly, I want to perform some EDA process on the data, and I want to check out the shape of the data. Dot shape. So these are the how many rows are there: 9994 and 21. And data dot describe. It will count some basic calculative work with the data, like minimum value, maximum, first quartiles, second quartile. Now I want to count the particular column. So I want to count all the value from the category. So you can count any column, category dot value count. So it will count all the value inside the category, like office supplier, the values are there, furniture, the values are there, the technology, the value are there. And now I want to find out some data from the category, basically, like tech, from this. So I want to check out the data, furniture, furniture, to fetch out only those data set are technology. So data original dot loc, and which column we want to find? Category. And the categories should be equal technology and the tech. Now you can see all the category based on the technology also. So I fetch out the data from the technology. You can pass any further conditions to fetch out the data. Now I want to work into the time frame. This order date. So like tech. So inside the tech, I want to find the order date. So the column name should be same. Remember one thing. So when you are performing, the order date are there. But I want to find out the minimum order date. Then the maximum. Tech order date. So you can see the minimum and the maximum time frame we have find out from the data. After applying some filtration technique. Now we can check out how many columns are there into the data. So it is all about the columns and how many null values are there. So we have the function is null. There are no null values in any column. So now I want to drop all the column. So those are not necessary from my data set. How? Don't worry, you can store the columns. But it is also the hectic process, but still I am just copying this data and to pass them. So firstly, I want to pass the column row ID. I want to delete them and the order ID. So I'm making some corrections and the order date. So I have ready this all the column, but exclude two column. Why? One is that order date I have not mentioned. Second one is sales. So exclude two column. Now I want to remove all the column from my data set from tech. So tech. So drop is a function to drop all the value column and the axis, that means 1, and we want to save the changes permanently, so that is in place true. So when you have run this, and after that I want to check the data, you can see only the two column are there, but at the above into the tech there are so many columns are there. So I drop all the column, those are not necessary for me. I'm not mentioning here one by one. I create a list, then I pass here, so it will delete all the data. So I took the order date, the time frame, and the sales. Now I want to sort out this value according to the particular date. So tag sort values, order date, that is in place true, and the tag. So firstly, I want to check the order date. Okay, the space. You can see it is ordered all the value. Now you can also check again the number of columns are there, like tech. There are only the two columns. And now I want to check out so the sales according to the order date. If those date are common, you can see the date are common. So I want to sum the totals of the sale. How? Like tech dot group by. So you have to specify which column you want to use. You want to use the order by, or sorry, order date. So the order date we want to total them. You can see the data is summed successfully. Here the values are 1847, but now the value is still less. But I want to also uh, arrange the data according the sales also. So you can also pass the sales. So it depend on you. You want to group by the data and want to reset the index number. Index number, that means this one. So this is now the perfect example to arrange the data and to group by basically according to the date, and to reset the index number. The index number are there, so I reset all the index number for the better clarifications. You can also use the plt dot show. So I'm just want to create the chart with the help of this data. So it will take little bit time to ready the chart. You can see the chart is look like this. but the chart is not effective so much. So I want to use some theme for the chart. It will make so much attractive, so much useful. The PLT bar. So I want to use at the top some like PLT dot style. So we can use any style name, like I have used the 538. So 538. Now after that I want to run. You can see the styles, but again we can also set some kind of the related work figure size. The size is not so in depth, so I want to specify the size is also. So from matplotlib dot py lab import, you can give any name, so I give the RC. So I have set the figure size, this one 15.5, and want to execute and go back to the last again. Now you can see the width is successfully now the data in a proper manner. So I have set the width and the height. We can also show this data with the help of Plotly. Plotly is also the useful library. Inside the Plotly, we have the Express some package similar to the matplotlib.pyplot SPX. And I want to create the chart CT px dot bar. So in the I want to copy just. So the x value is this one and y value this one. And CT dot show. Data is large, so it will take little bit time. You can see the data display, but the data visualization color is not so good. So you can also define. I want to use the color sales. Now you can see the color is there, but the data is so high, so that is the reason it will show the data into the small bar. But don't worry, we can also visualize with the data into the simple manner. How? Let's see. So we can also check out the index as a date and to the sales and the tag basically dot set index. and we can specify the order date and the tag dot index. So you can see the index. I have set the order date as an index. So when I want to show the value, you can see the order date become the index, and I want to check only some values. So sample, it will give the 10 result. So now this data I want to visualize like plt dot figure, and I want to set the size, big size like 16,6, and the tech dot plot. Okay, the fixed size is not defined. So firstly we have to define the fixed size to the above, then we can use them. Figure size here. Come back to here again and equalize this one. Now you can see the data according to the date. I have resized the figure size here. You can see the figure size is less, but here the figure size is width is high. The figure size is 1600 and 600. So it depend on us, like in which pattern we want to visualize the data date wise to filter out some specific data. So now I want to only to visualize the data with the help of year. So in the Panda we have a date time. Index function we can pass the technology and index. Index, that means this value. So I want to know only the year. So I will extract all the year from the data. Similar, I can extract the month. So the month are there. Similar, you can extract the days. So firstly, I want to store all the information. Like I want to ready the column like tech year equal year, tech month equal month, tech weekday equal day name. So now I have successfully set. Now I want to display only the 10 sample. And if you want to take the random data, so random state, so it will take the randomly data. So now the data is successfully ready. Now again I want to show the data and to find out the box plot chart, to find out the some basic statistical work with the help of box plot chart. So we can use the fig, and the you can give any name, and plt dot subplot. We can specify the size, fig size like 11 comma 8, that is 1108. And after that we can use the, we know very well the seaborn library box plot chart, and the data we can supply here the tech, we know very well. And I want to find out the data sales month wise. So the x is month, we have already know the month, and the y is sales, and the size I want to use ax equal to ax, this one. So seaborn library is box plot. Okay, so fig size, there is no property. Okay, so the subplots is there. Now you can see the box plot is also find out the outlier according to the month wise. So where the data is there. So it depend on us if we want to show all the data as a plot wise. So definitely we can see. One more example I want to use. So if I want to show the particular year wise data, so we have the data, but I want to show the data particular year wise. So the tag and dot loc 2014. You can see only the 2014 data is fetched successfully. So now I want to show all the basically the year wise chart into the time frame. How? The one more example I want to discuss, the sales basically, like call plot, and I want to use the sales. Now I want to use tech loc 2014 and call plot. I want to display this chart. The line width basically equals 0.5. So there is only the data or the particular year 2014. But now I want to display all the data year wise. 2014, 15, 16 and 17. So it is just the first chart, second 2015 data, 2016 data and 2017 data. So in this part I have discussed so many things related to the EDA process. I will also discuss some advanced level of the concept in Python in some upcoming chapters related to the data. So it is just the time frame data which we have loaded the data first and to perform some EDA process, then to visualize them. So now I want to end this session.